And now for our feature presentation.
Yeah, this season was, if you don't mind me just getting into it, I have kind of a odd relationship with season 1 because season 1 I thought was pretty good until episode 6, which I think is pretty bad. I do not like episode 6 of season 1. Season 2, I was very into the fact that it started the second season 1 ended. I thought that was pretty cool. And then it took a few episodes, maybe like 1 or 2 episodes before I was like in. I was just still sort of like, I don't know, because that one dude, I think his name is Brad, he kind of like shows up and makes the show all about him for a while, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this character. But overall, I ended up really, really liking this season.
Okay. I definitely it I'm making this sound worse than it is. It wasn't like my favorite.
Sure.
It wasn't anything spectacular. What I think it did was it gave some context into what's happening with the multiverse, which I definitely needed. I thought it was like okay plus.
Okay.
Which I know seems like not necessarily the like, to be honest with you, never thought I'd be here. I liked Miss Marvel better than I liked Loki season 2.
Really?
Not Miss Marvel. Hold on. Whoa. Time out. Not Miss Marvel.
The Marvels. Got it.
Totally different. No, sorry.
I was like, oh, you're burying the lead. It sounds like you hated
No.
Loki season 2.
No. One little word makes a whole difference.
No, that makes more sense. This season was very, like, we all love Ki-Hugh Kwan, and he was great in this. He's always great. I'm so glad he's back acting, and he likes it as much as he has been. But this season definitely, like episode 1 was fine. It happened. Episode 2 had a cool moment at the beginning when he's like chasing the dude through the alley. But then episode 3 onward, I like really, really enjoyed. I think episode 3 onward might be my favorite MCU TV show so far.
Cool.
I liked it a lot, and I do want to, if I could just pause for a minute and talk about something very specific. So in after the credit scene for Ant-Man 3, which is not a spoiler if you've seen Loki season 2, and then in the commercials for this, the trailers for this TV show, they showed Victor Timely doing his like invention thing. I did not realize that scene was going to take place at the Chicago World's Fair, which I am a huge fan of because it was heavily featured in the book Devil in the White City by Eric Larson, which is one of my favorite books. Every other chapter is about the building of the Chicago World's Fair, and then every other chapter is about the America's serial killer H.H. Holmes and his like how they tangle together is very interesting. But there's a scene in episode 3 where they're chasing this dude, and they chase him onto a Ferris wheel. That Ferris wheel is the first Ferris wheel in all of history.
Oh, yeah.
The guy who made it, his last name was Ferris. And the whole time they're like doing magic and shooting at each other. I was like, oh, please be careful, because that Ferris wheel would frequently break down. Those carriages held 40 people.
Oh, Jesus.
And basically, if one of them fell, all 40 people were dead. And that happened multiple times over
oh, my God.
I think like 10-ish year run of the Chicago World's Fair. So yeah, I had a particularly great time watching those scenes because I was like, I know about all this. They picked a really cool part of history to time travel to. Because really, when you think about it, that was really only the like big time travel moment. Everything else was sort of multiverse shenanigans.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is cool. This is a cool one to pick. And then they had that cool like, who even knows who Balder is? That conversation was really cool. I don't know. It was a neat little episode. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I definitely liked the time travel part. There's a couple of like paradoxes, like the TVA handbook, where I was like, felt a little sloppy writing to me. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah. The TVA handbook. Sorry to take the stage once again with like explaining something, but the TVA handbook thing is an actual that paradox actually has a name. It's called a bootstrap paradox.
Oh, okay.
And it's when something doesn't have an origin. Perfect example is the Song of Storms in Ocarina of Time, because you learn the song from Old Man, and the old man says, oh, this punk-ass kid back in the day or whatever, he said it. You go back in time, you play it, you're the punk-ass kid, you start it raining. So who wrote the Song of Storms?
Right.
This is kind of the same exact thing as the TVA handbook.
Yeah, no, exactly. And like, it's definitely a thing. I just, it's not a big deal. I just, whenever that happens, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Also a little confused if I could jump right to the last part of the last episode.
Okay.
Why did Loki know exactly what to do?
I think because of the, like, because he lives like 10,000 years in that one episode or something, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2,000.
2,000? Okay.
I think.
Yeah. I think it's that combined with the impression I got from that scene is
No, not what to do. Like, I'm so sorry, not what to do with like making the thing.
no, I know when he's grabbing the thing.
Yeah.
No, my impression of that scene, the vibe I got was he knew how to do that the whole time. He just didn't want to because he is a god, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they've talked about this before, but these gods like have like. These gods are Marvel characters, but they also have like crazy amounts of like knowledge and experience and stuff. Like Thor literally says in Infinity War that he's 10,000 years old, which is crazy to think about. Like, when did those scenes when he was a kid in Thor 1 take place? If he's 10,000 years old and his dad's still alive, but just stabbing them kills them. Anyways, but yeah. So my impression of that was like him giving up. Like, fine, I'll do the thing. I've been able to do it this whole time. I just really didn't want to. So here I go.
Okay. I'll take that.
And I also, while we're talking about it, would like to talk about quite possibly the coolest visual in any Marvel project I've ever seen.
Which part?
When he grabs the trees and he's sitting on the throne and the camera turns and it's the Yggdrasil tree from Norse mythology.
That was really cool.
The second that was like it started to zoom out, I was like, oh, I think I know what they're doing. And then it like zoomed out a little more than I thought it was gonna, and I was like, that is perfect.
Yeah,
this
that
is
was
the perfect ending. If this is the ending to this character's weird story that sort of had 3-ish endings, like, bravo. Like that was beautiful. I will say this. I've come out the other side of this TV show. I don't like Sylvie.
I don't like Sylvie either.
I was kind of digging her in season 1. She's a little abrasive, and she's obviously it's her fault that season 2 happened the way it did. But she was just a little, I don't want to say annoying because it's just such a basic thing to say, but like, I don't know, she annoyed me. It was like, it got to a point where I was just like, Sylvie, just get over it. It was just like, oh, you're giving your 5th speech in 2 episodes about how you matter more than what Loki's doing or whatever.
In this show, I think because I agree with you. I think we're playing right into their hands. I think we were supposed to be annoyed with her. To be honest with you, season 1, she was kind of main character part 2. This season, she was like C character. She was not in the season, and I think she must have not gotten great reviews after season 1, and they really downsized the role that she was going to play in season 2.
Yeah, I don't know. You can definitely, I definitely get like rewrite vibes on this whole season.
Yeah.
I don't know where or how or when or what scenes, but I definitely sense some like, I feel like this was different in storyboards than it is on the what I'm watching. And I think some of that might have been her.
But you're right, though. Literally in the show, the only way Loki is able to like you were like, get over yourself. And you're absolutely right. It literally takes Loki going to her and being like, listen, I can either kill you or you can get with the program.
Right.
What's going to make you get with the program? But yeah, I was also like a lot of, there wasn't a lot of reason given to us why she's like, yeah, the guy holding the fabric of time together. He's done some shitty stuff, I'm sure.
Right.
Like I don't even remember quite exactly what he did to her specifically, but it's
because he's I think the only reason she wanted to kill He Who Remains is because he's the leader of the TVA, and the TVA is who kidnapped her as a child. I think that's literally it. She's just like, you ruined my life.
Well, she held that grudge to the point where it destroyed existence.
Yeah.
So
she held that grudge to the point where Spider-Man is paying for it.
Yeah.
In addition to all these other people.
Yeah, no. It's true. They also, I don't know if you noticed in one of the last episodes, they actually made a callback to Ant-Man 3.
Remind me?
Right at the very end, Morbius's new job is to
Mobius.
Mobius.
Only correct
Sorry.
you because
No,
Morbius
I know,
is a different Marvel thing.
I know. It's a bad name. It's a bad name because of that. It's a bad
right.
choice.
I understand why both are called that, but like maybe I don't know. It's like the Captain Marvel Shazam thing all over again. It's like,
well, at least that's 2 different franchises.
True.
For Christ's sake.
Yeah.
That one you can't really blame either for. Although I guess you can blame Marvel because they were second to the to the game.
Yeah.
But Mobius' new job is to track down the Kang variants.
Oh.
And he was like,
maybe I missed that.
Yeah, there was just one little thing where he was like, one stirred up some trouble and whatever, he gave a number. And it was definitely, but he said like some locals or something took care of it. Something to that effect.
I didn't put that. That's him talking about Quantumania.
What else would it
be?
be?
Put that
right?
together, right? Yeah.
I mean, that's my assumption, but I think that's what they were trying to get us to,
Yeah. This is my new job. I was going to investigate that, but it fixed itself.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll investigate the new one and I'll show up in Deadpool 3 or whatever.
Yeah. So here's a question, since
Yeah.
we've already talked about the end of this show.
Yeah.
And how Loki is currently sitting on a throne, holding the timeline together.
Right.
Or the multiverse, I should say.
Or both.
Both.
I'm really, that it was intentionally ambiguous exactly what he was doing and exactly how he knew how to do it. But it's clear that him staying there, very important.
So do you think that's it for Tom Hiddleston? Follow-up question, is Sylvie taking the place of Loki in the MCU?
See, Hiddleston was on Fallon the night after the finale aired, and Fallon basically asked him the same question, like, are you done? And he didn't answer him. He was sort of like, yeah, Loki's done. Am I done?
Yeah.
That's the other thing too. Sylvie, it's maybe it's different because she was kidnapped as a child and has been on the run or whatever this whole time. But that sort of implies that she could have done that too if she wanted to.
She's supposedly more powerful than him and shit. She's also the reason they're in that mess. Kind of seems like she should have been the one to do it.
No, I think that just
Sorry. But you know why it wasn't? Because he's had 2,000 years to think about that exact moment.
Right.
And she wasn't. So I'll give them that. Like, could she have? Maybe. Was she prepared to or ready to do something like that? No.
Right, yeah.
Because he just kind of showed up and was like, move, bitch.
Yeah.
To everybody.
Right. Yeah, and I think that really showcases the arc that this character has had. Like, you got to think this is the version of this character that fucked off with the Tesseract in the middle of Avengers Endgame. So this character at the beginning of this show was like a sniveling loser who like only cared about himself and like touching an Infinity Stone once.
And then they showed him all of the MCU.
Right, yeah.
And then we kind of have the current Loki. You know what's interesting that I'm just putting together now? The whole like but thing about Loki has been that he always loses.
Right.
He still lost, which is interesting.
True. It's almost like if he moves from the spot he's in now, he'll lose. So he's like delaying his loss.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's exactly right.
And I really love that the whole burdened with glorious purpose analogy came full circle because this loser's been saying that line for the last 15 years and it's never meant anything.
Right.
Like, no, of course you're not burdened with glorious purpose. You're just some guy who decided to try and take over New York. But like now he is.
Yeah.
He's burdened with glorious purpose. He can never. It's literally like a biblical. Like you can't leave. You have to sit here. You don't get to like talk to anyone. You just do this forever.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I know you know a good bit about Norse mythology, and I might be getting things mixed up. But isn't the like canonical ending to the Norse Loki that he's chained up, and there's like water dropping on his head forever, so his wife holds a cup over his head to catch the water, and she dumps it out?
I don't know. I've never heard that. I think that yeah, that's a great question because
I could be getting my mythologies mixed up. That could be somebody else.
Possibly. No, I mean that definitely sounds like something Norse mythology would do. They love these big grandiose like, and then this happened and that's why this happened and it can never happen, all that stuff. Yeah, I've never heard that one. I think Loki, canonically, if mythology is to have its own canon, I think Loki just kicks it in Ragnarok.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. I don't know.
Fair. But yeah, I thought this season did a lot of good for the MCU. It's definitely going to progress the story. Literally, the only progression we've had of Kang really has been through this TV show.
Yeah. Well,
and maybe that's it.
Yeah, I'm actually starting to get a little upset about that because like the new rumors are that they're going to not do Kang anymore, and like I will echo what everyone else has been saying on the internet, which is like, if you don't want to do Jonathan Majors anymore, just recast Kang. He's the most recastable character in like all of fiction. Like just recast him as someone else.
Yeah.
And
no,
it
I'm
doesn't
absolutely
matter
with you.
Race, gender, it literally doesn't matter. Just get a new.
If they wanted to be like, let's get a lookalike. I thought, oh shit, I'm gonna lose his name. Jamie Foxx, but Jamie Foxx is Electrode.
Well, yeah.
Electrode? Right?
Electro. They've doubled up before, but yeah, not on such a high profile role like that.
But wouldn't he be like, forget the Electro role? Wouldn't he be a good fill-in?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Jamie Foxx as an actor.
I'm not either, but like if you're just looking for like, oh man, how are we gonna find somebody who looks like Jonathan Majors?
Yeah. Yeah. No. I sorry, it's been a while since I've seen it. Yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought that the first half kind of dragged a little bit. I thought the second half was really good. The I said something along these lines, and the internet seems to agree, which is that one fucking scene where Renslayer crushes an entire room of people off camera.
Oh yeah,
is like the most violent and disturbing thing that's ever been done in the MCU.
Yeah, that was pretty fucked up. I can't remember why I was gonna make this statement. Oh, now I remember. This season, it's funny that we're talking about like that being super fucked up. This season of Loki confirms in my mind that not all MCU is specifically for kids, and here's my explanation why. Not first of all, but that scene, definitely a good point. This is such a high concept. Like everything that's going on in Loki. And it's like we're getting to the point in the MCU where comic books got like 20 years ago, which is, they're getting really heavy lore in plot-wise. Starting to sound like the audience is growing up with the genre, with what, because I was watching this and I was like, it's getting a little confusing. And I was like, I'm a grown-ass man. I'm not dumb by any means either. This is just a confusing ass plot line.
No, it's especially in the scenes where it's like a lot of the scenes with Ouroboros. It's easy to get lost dialogue to dialogue.
Well, the dialogue, the plot, what's going on, what does it mean? Like in a grander scheme of the entire MCU, like you can't just sit down and watch Loki like that.
Right.
Like that can't just be what you watch. It won't really. You won't give a shit about what's going on if that's the only thing you've seen that's Marvel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The whole Infinity Stones in the first season, like the whole like.
Oh my God! When he
paperweights
opens
or whatever
desk of them.
Yeah, that would mean nothing.
Right.
It was cool. But, like, this show is telling me that they're not just gearing things towards a younger audience.
Yeah.
Officially. Like, to me, this was, like, confirmation that I wouldn't have a kid watch Loki.
Right.
Not because it's grotesque, not because there's nudity, not because of this and that.
It's clearly for
they won't get
mature people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be like having a 10-year-old watch... I don't know, like Saving Private Ryan or something.
Right.
It's
Nothing.
like,
nothing wrong about that movie, like ethically, but they're not going to enjoy it.
No, they're gonna get bored,
or
they're gonna get horrified.
Right. Do we have a hard confirmation that Deadpool 3 is going to be rated R?
I believe so. I think it's gonna be the first rated R Disney
official. Yeah, Disney MCU, or actually Disney at all?
Maybe. Well, it's funny because I just had to change my password on Disney Plus because I had the restricted one. I don't know if you remember. I actually talked about this like years ago on the podcast, but I was in a rush to watch something for this, so I just skipped through. I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll just stay the kid because I don't want to put in all my info again.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember that? Well, do you know what I mean? Like when they're like, hold up there, bucko. Do you want to watch all the adult shit, or do you want to just stay with the kid shit? If you want to watch the adult shit, put in your info. And I was like, I gotta run. I'll do that later. They just asked me again, and this time I was like, I'm gonna do it. And I wonder if they're doing that in preparation of like, if you want to watch Deadpool.
Well, because Deadpool 1 and 2 are already on the service, right?
Oh, are they? I don't know. Well, I wouldn't know because I've got the child-proof version.
Yeah, let me check that. That'll take a little longer than I thought because Disney Plus has a whole boot up process with that goes around their fucking logo. Yeah, Deadpool 1 and 2 right there, both rated R.
Damn.
I'm assuming not censored at all, or else I would have heard about that. Which is funny to me because Deadpool 2, if I remember correctly, had like we made it a kid version.
Yeah. Yeah. They have like a Christmas version.
Right.
Remember, it's like Deadpool 2.0 or 2.5 or something.
Doesn't he have the kid from Princess Bride?
He's got a kid that he's reading a story to.
Yeah, I believe the guy from Princess Bride.
Okay.
Because that's in that movie. Remember, he's the little kid who's having Princess Bride read to him.
Yeah.
I think that's the joke. But I've not seen it. I think that might only be on like Blu-rays and DVDs.
Princess Bride?
No, the
Sorry.
special Deadpool thing.
Yeah. I think honestly, I'm sure if they show it on TV, that's the version you see.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just it's very silly concept. Can I bring up something
Sure.
about the Marvels, which is something else entirely?
Yeah.
I watched the movie again. I still really like it. I have a new observation.
Sure.
So when they go to Water Planet,
Mm-hmm.
Aladdin, I think it's called. She says that the surface of Aladdin is 99.64% water. Okay? So if they land on the only like inhabitable piece of land on the whole planet, why did Darben this is the globe, right?
Mm-hmm.
The tip of my finger is the inhabitable like part of the planet. Why did she choose right here to start siphoning the water?
To make a point.
Is that it? I cuz she really goes like I need this. She goes from I need this to haha I'm evil neener.
I mean, I if it's to make a point, I think it'd be to make a point to Captain Marvel,
Right.
because Captain Marvel destroyed her planet in front of her.
Right.
So why not take Captain Marvel's spoiler husband's
Yeah.
planet's water right in front of Captain Marvel?
Yeah, if she even knows that.
Yeah, that's a good point too. That seemed pretty hush hush.
But yeah, I am excited for what's next.
Yeah.
In the MCU. And speaking of, I want to look it up because I don't actually know. Like, I know what's coming up, right? But I don't know like what's literally next. Probably What If, right? Because we just got to. Oh, that's right. What If season 2? Did you see the trailer for it?
No.
It's gonna release. I forget when the release date is, but it's gonna. Yeah, let me look that up real quick
Sure.
because it's really cool what they're doing. What If season 2 is going to start airing on December 22nd, and all 9 episodes are going to air one day after each other until December 30th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, I am looking forward to that, but I also what other films do we got coming up? That's what I want to know. And in order to do that, I go here. We've got apparently coming up next is Deadpool 3, July 26, 2024.
Okay.
I'm really
Excited.
I'm excited. I'm also just like that's like interesting. It seems like as of right now that's the only thing they have planned for 2024.
Oh, that'll be something.
Yeah, wait, yeah, 2025 is super busy. It's got Captain America, Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, Blade, but then 2024 is just Deadpool 3. Interesting.
It's so hype it got its own year.
I guess.
Even Infinity War and Endgame didn't get that.
I know. They had to break it up with Captain Marvel and for some reason Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I have an idea. Let's do an Ebert shits on people corner review. I've got one in mind. I'm curious.
Yeah?
I'm curious if he's seen or reviewed any of the like 70s or maybe 80s Marvel movies or TV shows.
Oh,
like there's a Thor show, there's a Spider-Man show, like stuff like that. I think there might be a movie, but I'm not sure.
Well, I know there's the old Captain America movie. There was 2 old Captain America movies. There's the one with the fake ears, which sucked, and the one without fake ears that's I guess sucked less. But how do I? It's hard to.
I think you got to
Google
start
that.
by googling 80s Captain America movie or something like that.
Yeah, see what the actual name of it is.
Yeah.
You know what? List of Captain America movies. That's where I'll start. Nope, that's just the 4. I need all of them, please.
Damn.
Do you want to know what I found out recently while I looked this up?
What?
Yeah, so there was a serial in 1944. CBS made for TV films 1979.
That might be what I'm talking about, but keep looking.
Captain America 1990, Albert Pune. That's the one with the ears. That's the shitty ears one. So let me Google that. Let me Google Roger Ebert Captain America 1990. Yeah, I found out recently that and I could have figured this out, but I was just like it's cool that that's like actually what it is. The first yeah, he didn't do this one, unfortunately. Okay. The first mention of the concept of the multiverse in fiction was when the Flash met himself from a different universe.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I thought that was neat. Let me just do Roger Ebert old
It's a true statement.
I Google Roger Ebert old and Google says yes. Roger Ebert 40-year-old virgin. Roger Ebert.
That's probably also true. Are you just looking up? You just on Wikipedia?
Yeah, joke's on you, Roger. I'm just looking at your fucking IMDb trivia page. Roger Ebert old superhero movies. Let's see how that gets. Superheroes, seriously. Hello? What is this? It's just a picture of the poster for The Dark Knight. This is someone else's review of The Dark Knight.
Oh.
Why would they... History of Marvel movies, page 1. Nope, this is all MCU.
Oh, then they fucked up. History of Marvel movies, page 1.
What if I do Roger Ebert bad superhero movie? The problem is the internet is not giving me what I want. And also the fucking people who run the website, like I just found a review on RogerEbert.com for the Marvels. I don't think he reviewed that one.
Oh, you never know with Ouija boards these days. Am I right?
I did find a Collider article called 15 Critically Panned Movies That Roger Ebert Liked.
Oh.
That might be fun. Pick one of these. Alice in Wonderland 2010, Daredevil 2003,
Daredevil.
The Happening 2008. Daredevil?
Yeah.
With Ben Affleck?
Yes.
Have you seen the movie?
Yeah.
It's all right.
Well, we get to see blind boobs. Remember?
No.
It's like the most memorable part of the movie.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
He's got like his echolocation shit or whatever, and they show you what that looks like, but then they show you him having sex.
Oh.
And he's like holding
Jennifer Garner.
Blind boobs.
Okay. Cool, man.
Yeah. But also it's like 2003 CGI blind boobs.
Right. Yeah, I remember the scene.
I'm just saying he's going to talk about the blind boobs, I promise.
Oh, I see. Yeah. No, he always does. I mean, if there's boobs, yeah, he's going to talk about them.
Well, they're covered, but yeah.
The thing I remember the most about the movie is when he's fighting Kingpin and it's raining. I remember the special effects looking good. They probably don't anymore.
Kingpin's in that movie?
Yeah.
I thought the bad guy was blind boobs.
No.
Oh.
Blind boobs was Jennifer Garner, I'm assuming, who was playing Elektra.
Yeah, I'm not calling her that. I'm just saying like that was the most.
Oh, I see. The bit is that's all you remember from the movie.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, it's got Colin Farrell as Bullseye. It's got Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin, which was the first time Kingpin was ever depicted black, which was pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
So Roger Ebert gives Daredevil 3 stars. This review was
That's out of 4.
That's out of 4.
That
so
could
it must mean something.
That could be like 53 to 75. I think we decided.
He wrote this review on February 14th, 2003.
Or I guess just 50 to 75.
The first word in the article
Blind boobs.
has a typo.
Oh, great.
It's capital T space H-E. So origin is usually similar. A traumatic event in childhood often involved. This is the start, by the way. This is the first fucking sentence.
Great.
Often involving the loss of parents, leave the future superhero scarred in some of ways, but with preternatural powers in others.
Potentially another.
Preternatural. Okay. Daredevil came out of the Marvel. Sorry, I'm going to try to stay on mic. Came out of the Marvel Comics stable in the same period as Spider-Man, and both were altered by accidents, which gave Peter his spider senses and blinded Matt Murdock. Oh, he's talking about comics. I see. Daredevil stars Ben Affleck as a superhero, wearing one of those molded bodysuits that defines his six-pack's abs, but unlike Batman's, doesn't give him dime-sized nipples.
Did you say Batman's?
Yeah, unlike Batman's suit.
Oh.
His mask is sensed over his eyes, which are not needed since his other senses are kind of like a radar. This is explaining how Daredevil works.
Does he explain what we see with the radar?
Well, you see Chris by day, and then in parentheses it says, I love that, quote-unquote, by day. He is a lawyer in Hell's Kitchen area of Manhattan. By night, he tells us, this is the plot of the film. Kingpin, Michael Clark Duncan, Bullseye, Colin Farrell. Oh, here we go. There must be a woman, and in Daredevil, there is one. Quote, and in parentheses, only one among all those major make characters, although the fragrant Ellen Pompeo has a slink on. Was that English? What does any of that mean? There must be a woman, comma, and in quote-unquote Daredevil, there is one, parentheses. Only one among all those major characters, although the fragrant Ellen Pompeo has a slink on, end parentheses. Talking about Elektra, who, like her classical namesake, wants to avenge the death of her father. By day, she is, well, pretty much as she is at night. She and Daredevil are powerfully attracted to each other and even share some PG-13 sex, which is a relief because when superheroes have sex at the R level, I am always afraid someone will get hurt. There's a rather beautiful
Wait a
scene.
minute. Was that him referencing the fact that they have superpowers? Was that a joke? Was that supposed to be funny?
Yeah, I think he's saying in all the many R-rated superhero movies he's seen, which in 2003, I think it might just be one, that he's scared that they're going to hurt each other because they have superpowers. But there is a rather beautiful scene where he asks her to stand in the rain because his ears are so sensitive they can create an image of her face from the sound of the raindrops. Which... is that how it works in real life? I know he's Daredeviling his superpowers, but that's not how it works in real life.
No,
right?
blind people don't have echolocation. They can't see shit. They can feel things. No, they don't have echolocation.
I wonder if Death Battle would ever do Daredevil versus Toph. That could be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
I guess one of them can chuck rocks, but whatever.
The other one can chuck fists.
This I do not remember. Matt Murdock's law partner, Foggy Nelson, played by Jon Favreau.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
Damn.
A little suspicion about who he's sharing his office with. Another key character. Nobody cares. Oh my God, there's a lot. Oh my God, there's a lot more. Hold on.
He didn't talk about him though.
He mentioned the sex.
He did.
He was glad it was
touch
there.
on it. He was horny that it was there.
I do want to highlight and even share some PG-13 sex, which is a relief. I'll just end it there. Talking about Daredevil's. Oh my God, he's literally talking about how he over-explains stuff. Daredevil has the ability to dive off tall buildings, swoop through the air, bounce off stuff, land lightly, and so forth. There is an explanation for his ability. There is an explanation for this ability, but I tend to tune out some explanations because, after all, what do they really explain? I don't care what you say. It's Superman's cape that makes him fly? No, it's not.
What?
In no way has it ever been Superman's cape
No.
that makes him fly.
What?
I don't care what you say. It's Superman's cape that makes him fly. Comic fans, however, study the mythology and methodology with the intensity of academics. It is reassuring in this world of inexplicabilities to master a limited subject within a self-contained universe.
Is this guy an idiot? Does he think
Yeah,
anybody
dude.
who grabs Superman's cape can just like fucking take off? Does he think it's like? Does he?
I feel like that happens in a movie, but not Superman.
No.
I feel like that might happen in The Incredibles.
Well, it happens. I mean, there's a Marvel character that it happens to. His name is Thor. If you have the ability to grab Thor's hammer, you get all the powers that Thor has.
Right.
But you know who never mentions that? Fucking Superman, who's an alien from another planet who has powers of those aliens from that other planet.
Can you imagine? Did you ever see Man of Steel? You didn't.
Yeah,
right?
no, I
You
think
did.
I did. Way
Can
back
you
when.
imagine Man of Steel scene for scene, except like halfway through the big fight with the military's involvement and they're destroying all the buildings? General Zod like happens to catch his cape and Superman's like, no, it just falls out of the sky. He's like, fuck.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's got to be a panel, a comic book where Superman is flying and his cape is torn off.
Right.
There's got to be one
Yeah.
something somewhere.
I'm pretty sure. What's that dude's name? From Death of Superman, the big Doomsday.
Doomsday.
I'm pretty sure Doomsday rips it
Doomsday
off.
does rip. Okay, Doomsday does rip off the cape. I don't think he flies after that. That doesn't mean.
No,
Now that doesn't mean.
they're having a fist fight.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
that doesn't mean he can't fly. That just means they're doing their own thing on the ground.
What? So, Chris, as a huge Superman fan, what the fuck is Roger Ebert talking about? Is there a specific Superman movie where he mentions that his cape makes him fly?
No, I'm going to guess way back when. You see, back when Superman came out in 1938, back when he was a young man of 46,
Yes.
Roger Ebert probably assumed, as everybody else did, not assumed, I'm sorry, Roger Ebert probably wondered, as everybody else did, what is it that makes Superman fly? Now, years later, we get the explanation that he's a fucking xenomorph. And he's just invincible, and he's from another planet, and he just be thankful he's not killing everybody.
Right.
That ends the conversation. We know where he gets his powers from.
Right.
We actually, more specifically, he gets his powers from solar energy. So he's like solar powered. He's like a hybrid.
Right. Right.
But, the cape is long underwear. It's a part of long underwear that he likes to wear. And it's the flag of his home planet.
Yeah. I
Given no magical powers.
Right. Right.
It's
right.
a piece of fabric.
Right. Unlike Miss Marvel's new scarf.
Exactly.
The fucking weird how they do her powers. But anyways, Superman's flight, I've always assumed. And I think they might actually talk about this in the Big Bang Theory episode 1, which I did watch live back in the day. Superman's flight is a feat of strength.
Maybe. I mean, it comes from the fact that he's a Kryptonian. Whether it's that our atmosphere is so light compared to Krypton that
Right.
he can just fly, or if they just all have an innate ability to fly whatever planet they're on. That's the origin of his flight.
That's something that they do really well visually with Thor in the MCU, because he explains it very clearly. He throws the hammer because he's super strong, and then he basically holds on to it. And there's multiple scenes where you can see that he, like, if he goes up, he only stays up for a few minutes, and then he goes right, like that scene in Infinity War, the scene in Infinity War where he goes up and he, like, chonks down. He's only up there for a few seconds because he can't just float in midair like Wonder Woman and Superman can do.
Right, which tells me, like, here's a question, and there's definitely an answer. Somebody who's smarterer than me knows this.
Right.
But the question, like, we're at a time period where the question isn't, and back in 2003, we were still at this point. I'm not giving this asshole an inch. But we're at a time period where the question isn't what makes him fly. The question is how exactly does he fly? And somebody does know this answer, and I'm sure it's Google search away, but it's either the atmosphere on Earth allows him to fly, or it's just a part of the abilities that he has by being a Kryptonian.
I think it's that one because we see him like fly above Earth all the time too.
Yeah, he can fly wherever.
As long as he's in the as long as he's in our galaxy where the sun is. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, if he loses solar power, he's down for the count.
Yeah. But yeah, so comic fans, this is the part where Roger Ebert turns into Bill Mayer.
Oh, great.
What?
I said, oh, great.
Comic fans, however, study the mythology and methodology with the history of academics. It is reassuring in this world of inexplicabilities to master a limited subject within a self-contained universe. Understand, truly understand why Daredevil defies gravity and the location of the missing matter making up 90% of the universe can wait for another day. So, Roger Ebert is just having a rough time in this paragraph, suspending his disbelief so he can watch this work of fiction. But these are just the kind of idle thoughts I entertain during a movie like Daredevil. I just want to cut in here real quick. This is a review for the movie, which may have been what the Vatican had in mind when it issued that statement giving its limited approval of Harry Potter as long as you don't start believing in him.
Okay, I mean, I know what he's talking about. I don't know why he brought it up, but, like, I think the Vatican condoned witchcraft, but was like, watch it because it's a fun children's thing. But, like, no, it's a bunch of bullshit.
Right.
I don't know what any of that has to do with Daredevil.
With Ben Affleck's Daredevil, yeah.
Why does everything got... I mean, I know devil's in the name, but, like, why does everything got to be like, Satan? It's fucking superhero. Get over it.
Daredevil describes himself as a quote-unquote guardian devil, and that means there are guardian angels, and that means God exists.
Oh,
and by a process,
we're taking some leaps.
I just had to really just start reading that right after what you said. And by a process of logical deduction that Matt Murdock is a Catholic. Please address your correspondence to Rome.
Oh, I'm sure everybody's going to be in a tizzy because you had some bullshit to say, Roger Ebert. He's making his own fucking fanfic over here.
He's saying...
He's connecting dots.
So he's saying... This fucker is saying that because Matt Murdock is a devout Catholic, which is a real part of his character's backstory, because he is defying the laws of physics when he jumps real good and can see even though he's blind... That means that the Vatican should approach this movie the same way that they approached Harry Potter, and that's why he was bored watching it? Is that what Roger Ebert's trying to say? Because that's how the paragraph started. But these are the kind of idle thoughts I entertain during a movie like Daredevil. He's blaming the fact that Daredevil is Catholic and the Vatican Church hasn't addressed that as of February 14, 2003, that he didn't like the movie.
Did he? I mean, this is a conversation for another day.
Oh, God, sorry. The next paragraph. I'm sorry, Roger Ebert, my mistake. Because the next paragraph starts with, the movie is actually pretty good. We're like 9 paragraphs in, but that's fine. What were you going to say?
Has he ever reviewed book or movie The Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, I think we might have talked about one of them already. He had to have, right? They were like a cultural touchstone.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm very curious what he has to say about that because... Frankly, had the books not already been a hit success when he was a young man of 60 when they came out in the 1930s,
right?
He would absolutely fuck him.
Oh, because it's a book that he read when he was the ripe age of 22 in 1899. he probably sucks J.R.R. Tolkien's dick the whole review.
That's what I'm saying. But I would love to compare that hypocrite piece of shit compared to all the other works of sci-fi and high fantasy that he absolutely trashes. I'd love to compare it and be like, it's all the same, my guy.
Right.
What are you talking about?
Right. Talks about how the movie was good. He talks about how he liked the relationship between Affleck and Garner on screen. He says, and in a very good-looking movie, so I think that means he liked the CGI and cinematography.
Well, of course he did. They did CGI boobs, Anthony.
Right. Most of the tension takes place between characters, not the props. There is, of course, a fancy formal ball to which everyone is invited. And then parentheses, just to piss us off. Commissioner Gordon must have been at the rival affair across town. Almost done. This paragraph, he just talks about how an amazing actor Affleck is, and he ends it by saying they play their roles more or less as if they were real, which is a novelty in a movie like this. And Duncan, Michael Clark Duncan, in particular, has a presence that make the camera want to take a step back and protect its groin. Not sure what that means. Don't think cameras have groins. The movie is, in short, your money's worth, better than what we expect. The more fun. Were superhero movies just shit back then? No, Spider-Man was like a year earlier.
Well, I was just going to say, what were superhero movies before the first Spider-Man movie?
Yeah.
They were.
Yeah.
Before that movie.
I think X-Men 1 came out before Spider-Man, right?
Before let me rephrase. Before the early 2000s.
Yeah.
The best thing we had was that Captain America movie, I bet, which you said sucked.
It's pretty
In
rough.
Hellraiser?
Hellraiser?
No, what's the shit?
That's the Pinhead with the sex box.
Right. That's not why I forgot the plot to that movie.
Oh yeah. He has a sex pain box.
Spawn is what I meant to say.
Oh, Spawn is up in there. Yeah, I think Spawn's
and it was bad.
Spawn is not good. No. So hold on. Yeah. So almost done with this real quick. The movie is, in short, your money's worth, better than what we expect, more fun than we deserve. I'm getting a little worn out describing the origin stories and powers of superheroes and EB, baby.
Nobody asked
I just
you
gotta
to.
let you know, no one asked you
Nope.
to. You can stop doing that whenever you fucking feel like it. And their relationships to arch villains, gnashing henchmen, and brave, muscular female pals.
Oh.
They weep. This is a new paragraph break. They weep, they grow, they astonish, they overcome, they remain vulnerable, and their enemies spend inordinate time on wardrobe, grooming, and props, and behaving as if their milk of human kindness has turned to cottage cheese. Some of their movies, like this one, are better than others. So he liked it. He thought this
Is
movie
that
was
what that said? I believe you. You know,
Yeah, he said when you milk I think what he's
when you
saying
milk
here,
a superhero.
Yeah, I think a villain. I think what he's
Oh.
saying is when you milk Galactus, you get cottage cheese, and that's why he liked Daredevil.
Right. That's. I mean, that's. What else are you gonna get from that paragraph?
Yeah, if you milked for example, I'll keep it topical, the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
You would get cottage cheese.
It'd probably be green though.
And then I would eat green cottage cheese like the book, and then I would eat it, and then wow, Daredevil actually was really good, I guess. I didn't think so, but now I do. That's how the Green Lantern, what the fuck did I say? Green Goblin milk cottage cheese works. If you milked a cow and it was straight cottage cheese, like that
while you were giving us that last paragraph of ramblings from an old dying man.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but realize I've probably sampled more of his writing than any other writer at this point, and I think that's sad. like maybe not volume, but just simply
entry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've probably
I've read more words written by J.K. Rowling, but
Right.
I've read more entries
Right.
into the chronology of Roger Ebert pieces.
Right.
No, I understand what you mean. Yeah, probably me too.
And that's upsetting to me. That's upsetting, but also
We may, and I know the implications of what I'm saying, we may be his biggest fans.
No. We may have sampled the most work of anybody else. We may have had more discussions than anybody else. But I can, like here's the thing. When we first started this, I was like, what might suck for this is if he does end up doing some decent writing, like if the further back you go, and we end up like not enjoying him but just being indifferent.
Right.
He sucks.
Yeah.
He's a bad writer,
he
and I can say that officially. I have enough context.
Oh yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. Like we did the two weird ones that we knew about, and we were like, from here we're blind, and this guy these might be his two weird ones, and then the rest of them are normal. But it's just consistently like the bad writing, the use of like over explanation of the plot, the words that he chooses
Well,
to
that's
use,
what I'm saying. Forget
the horniness in
Right.
which he talks about female characters and female body parts.
But even forget his personality, right? Forget him. take that part out of it. He's just not a good writer. He's, like you said,
No.
spelling errors like crazy, weird tangent rants about nothing that's important.
Which don't work in text. You get really lost.
Oh,
if
yeah.
I wasn't like
That's what I'm saying.
if
Is
I
we
was
lose ourselves in like 4 out of 5 of his paragraphs.
Right.
It makes no sense.
Right. If I was I think even if I was like, it's 2003, I love Ebert, I'm a fan of his, I'm a regular reader of his articles, I get to that Vatican Harry Potter shit, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Was Daredevil a good movie or not?
Right. And I have a feeling in his mind, I'm curious where he went to school. But I'm sure in his mind,
I'm sure he went to school.
well, he might have, grade school, but I'm genuinely curious if he thought that those ramblings. Oh, my phone just it just crashed.
Your phone?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No, we didn't. We were actually doing great.
Roger Ebert jump scared. This is the picture you get when you Google him. Ah!
But I'm genuinely curious if he thinks that because people get lost, they're just not intelligent enough to follow his dumbass ramblings, or if he knows that he goes on tangents and I'm curious if there's any bit of humility to him, or if he just thinks, oh, you didn't get it? What, you fucking dumbass? What do you mean you didn't understand it? I was talking about the Pope, then Harry Potter, and then cottage cheese. What are you talking about?
I was talking about how the Vatican and Harry Potter's the Vatican's opinions of Harry Potter links back to Green Goblin's goat cottage cheese.
Right.
He went to the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign.
Okay, so he didn't go to any Ivy League school. So I'm just curious. He's got such a condescending tone to his writing. I'm just curious where that comes from, and if he really believes that the crock of shit he puts out is just too unintelligible for a bunch of normies, or if he's I don't know. It's just clearly a crock of shit, and he seems to think very highly of his own writing.
Yeah.
That sucks. It's bad. It's not good.
Damn, he was only, I know we joke about how old he was. He was only 70 when he died.
Oh.
That's way younger than...
That's younger than I thought, dude. Well, you know why? He must have gotten to the game when he was 18, because he did Snow White. That's why we make this joke.
Right.
Is because he did a review of Snow White.
Ebert was known for his intimate Midwestern writing voice and critical views informed by values of populism and humanism.
Writing and tits.
And titties. Writing in a prose style, and how I can get them titties and scope out them titties. It says all that right here on his Wikipedia article. Writing in a prose style intended to be entertaining and direct, he made sophisticated cinematic and analytical ideas more accessible to non-specialist audiences. That, to me, thank you, Wikipedia, for being so nice and informative. That, to me, reads as... he doesn't know what he's talking about, and nobody reading what he's saying knows what he's talking about, but everyone's just like, this guy's so smart.
He's not, though.
No, I know, but I feel like that's the relationship people who actually liked this guy when he was writing for the Post or whatever, because they're like, wow, he's using words I don't understand. He must be a genius.
He's talking about cottage cheese, but I don't remember any cottage cheese in Daredevil.
About Hermione's cottage cheese. Daredevil must have been good. All right, that's enough of that. Let's move to
That's a podcast.
That's a podcast. And here comes another one. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe.
Our channel has daily uploads from podcast video essays, Let's Plays to skits.
Be sure to watch on Twitch. We stream all our video game and podcast content live at 5 EST every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday.
Our intro is by Brad Kendrick and music by Froggy and the Friendship. Link to all that in the description below.
Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.